standing here on the Cedar Mountain Battlefield, a battle that is fought August 9th, 1862. Today is August 10th, 2025 when I'm here at this battlefield, so 163 years and one day past the anniversary of that battle. On top of that, there is a commemoration here at Cedar Mountain. They were doing it yesterday on the actual anniversary, and they're doing it today, or they're going to have some battle demonstrations. There's a lot of wonderful organizations here. You have the Cedar Mountain Battlefield Foundation and their visitor center. Very nice visitor center. It's not too terrible big, but there's a lot of neat stuff in there, and the people that are in there are very knowledgeable and know a lot about this area. There's some other organizations here for the commemoration. You have Historical Impressions, you have the A.P. Hill Foundation, the Friends of the Wilderness, and my buddy Joe and Mike are down here. And Mike actually wrote a book on the Battle of Cedar Mountain, so check that out. But yeah, so lots of cool people here, wonderful reenactors here. Looking forward to seeing some of the other stuff they're going to do today. The Battle of Cedar Mountain is very special to me. This is where I did my first ever video of anything Civil War. It was in the winter of 2015, and I did a video about Stonewall Jackson coming into his troops, yelling, "Jackson is with you," with his sword above his head. So very special there. But on top of that, the first ever Aaron Civil War Travels video, episode 1, is here, and it's a pretty long video. If you go back and watch it, just remember it's the very first official video, so the editing is not that great, and I stammer quite a bit. But we were here. First video was here. So we're going to call this the revisit to Cedar Mountain. As I said, this battle's fought August 9th, 1862. Now, what has happened up to this point is the Union and Confederate armies were fighting down the peninsula. The Union Army under George B. McClellan, the Army of the Potomac, has been pushed away from Richmond, kind of somewhat by the aggressiveness of the Confederates, but also by his own decision to withdraw. The Confederates are led by General Robert E. Lee. He had taken command in late June, early July 1862, the Army in Northern Virginia. And so that 7 days campaign was horrific and bloody, but it's overall a Confederate victory. In the meantime, being disgruntled with how McClellan's plans are going, the federal government creates another army, the Army of Virginia, and they place General John Pope in command of that. John Pope is kind of a brash guy. He leaves no line of retreat. However, he's not a terrible commander. He just ends up saying the wrong words, really. But under him will be a general named Nathaniel P. Banks. Nathaniel Banks is going to be facing Thomas J. Stonewall Jackson here at Cedar Mountain, as Lee has dispatched Jackson to move this way. Pope has dispatched Banks to move this way as well, in order to make it to Gordonsville. That's where he wants to go. So those two men will meet. Now, why is that significant? These two, Banks and Jackson, have fought each other before. In the Shenandoah Valley, Jackson beat Banks pretty bad. However, Nathaniel Banks is not a terrible general either. He's actually an all right general. He just has to play with the hand he's dealt. Here at Cedar Mountain, he will actually fight very well. Although he is a political general, he really fights very well here. So what happens is the Confederates have to do a 10-mile march to get here to Cedar Mountain, and they'll arrive here just after noon. At that point, the battle's going to start. We're going to have the Confederates arriving. They're going to see Union cavalry and artillery. They're going to start firing on that cavalry and artillery with skirmishers and artillery. And from there, the battle's just going to get more intense. So intense that at one point, General Winder will be killed as he is helping to man Confederate artillery opposing the Federals. On top of that, where we're standing, there's going to be hand-to-hand fighting coming in through here. You're going to have Federals come bursting through these woods and hitting the Confederate left flank. and that flank's gonna just about crumble. This will be where Stonewall Jackson comes charging in, and he pulls his sword out, except it's stuck in the scabbard because he hasn't really used it probably since West Point, or maybe the Mexican War, but either way, it's stuck in the scabbard. It's rusted in there. So he's going to pull the scabbard above his head. He's going to wave that around on top of his head, over his head, and yell, "Jackson is with you." His men will reform with the help of the arrival of General A.P. Hill and his men coming here on location to secure the Confederate left. At that point, the Confederates will counterattack, and they will beat Nathaniel P. Banks's Union troops here. This battle will result in the next upcoming battle, which is the Battle of Second Manassas, as Pope will start looking for Stonewall Jackson. Jackson will go around kind of behind him and take Manassas Junction. We'll have the Second Battle of Manassas, and then to end that campaign, the Second Manassas campaign, you will have the Battle of Chantilly or Ox Hill. And all three of these are Confederate victories. So this leads up to the eventual Battle of Antietam in Maryland. So as always, it's a privilege to come out here to Cedar Mountain. I love this battlefield. I love what has been done here. There's a lot of firsts that happen here too. This is the first time that Clara Barton comes on the field as a nurse, the angel of the battlefield. This is the last time that Stonewall Jackson is in complete independent command. This is the last battle that he will fight that is a independent command. This will be the first battle where a photo of a dead horse is taken. That happens here with the 10th Maine. Very, very interesting stuff when you think about it. So lots of first and last here at Cedar Mountain. Again, this is the opening of the Second Manassas campaign. This is a hard-fought victory for Jackson and his men. And this is the beginning of the end for John Pope as well.